Everybody, I got something fun to share with you today. The Clique Kits is starting a new feature where we're going to be doing project sheets every month for Kit subscribers. So I am sharing a page I created for the project for the November kit, Swan Lake. So I wanted to keep it simple. I'm not very good at doing that. But what I did is I took this kind of swirly, like watercolor tree ring paper, which is, I think the paper is just called Beautiful. And I cut some leaves out of it with my die cutting machine. But you could use a punch, you could just leave it whole. You could alternatively cut out white leaves and just, or punch out white leaves and glue them to the surface of that paper. But I wanted to have some leaves on there, so I used my die cutting machine. And I used a strip of that kind of leather looking paper, which I forget the name of that paper. And I'm going to use that strip to kind of help ground my photo and separate that watercolor paper a little bit. So I'm playing around with the arrangement here a little bit. And my the trouble I was having is my photo, like the focus of my photo, my kids there underneath the tree, it's very small compared to the rest of the photo, and I didn't want to take away from the photo too much, so I didn't want to add anything too big over the photo. But so I was kind of struggling with placement there and where I was going to put things, but that'll work out eventually. So in the kit, there are these Amy Tan, they're kind of like a resist watercolor cards, and there's different phrases and sayings and little drawings and pictures and stuff. And I wanted to pick up on the yellow and the other colorful paper there. So I'm using some gelatos and some water. And this paper, these cards are really thick. I don't think it's watercolor paper, but it's definitely a thick paper. So it doesn't really bend too much. Like some papers really warp a lot when you use water on them, but this one was really good. And I used just a wet paper towel to kind of wipe it off a little bit so that the resisted part would show up more. So after I did that, it was too yellow. It was really yellow. So I just took some white gesso and went over it. And then again, I'm just wiping off these letters because the paint and gelatos and whatever, any watercolors you use won't stick to those letters because they're kind of like a glossy finish. So that card is done. It matches some of the yellow pretty well in the picture. And then here's where I have trouble, like if I want to put this here, because again, there's some white space in the photo there. And I don't mind covering up some of that, but I also didn't want to cover up so much that it takes away from the picture. So this is the arrangement I thought I was going to go with, but I totally end up changing it. But because I have all of that yellow there, I'm kind of looking around to see if I can find other little yellow pieces to put in here and there, and what other colors I can bring in. I grabbed a couple tags from the die cut pack, kind of an orangey tag and a pinkish tag. And I'm going to tuck those under my photo as well. So off camera, I went through and did a whole bunch of different arrangements of this. And I played around with that circle card, my photo, and these papers. And I finally decided that I was going to go with this arrangement. I don't show you all of it because literally it's me spending 20 minutes moving stuff around, deciding how I like it. And I do that all the time on my pages. This one took me an extra long time because I wanted to make sure that, again, like I said, that the focus was on the photo. So I decided to go with having the strip on the right-hand side of the page, so kind of that leathery brown paper, and then the watercolor paper, and I'm going to put the photo kind of right in the center. I went ahead and sprinkled some mustard-colored Heidi Swapp mist and some Seafoam Heidi Swapp mist and just sprinkled those around. I'm going to add my circle down here in the bottom left-hand corner of my photo. And then from here on out, it's pretty much just me kind of embellishing. I didn't realize this is so, the screen is so low. I think I must have moved my camera set up a little bit because you don't see the whole page there. But anyway, I'm just going to embellish around that circle. I'm going with the leaf theme. And again, I'm tucking some things behind the photo just to kind of make the photo and the mat pop out a little bit. And then I wanted to add a little bit more contrast. The yellow is kind of bright, but overall it's very kind of pastel, very light So I'm going to go back in and add some of the little tiny blue leaves you can see in the top of my page, kind of on my desk up there. Those blue leaves were actually what I cut out of that kind of swirly paper. So those are the little negatives I cut out of the swirly paper. So I just flipped them over, and I kind of liked the contrast that they added. So I'm just going to scatter those around and tuck them underneath the photo here and there. So yeah, pretty fast, simple page. And again, a little cluster of things at the top of the photo and the bottom left, and that's about it. And I do add in my journaling. I'm not sure if I get that on camera, but I add in my journaling to the left of my photo, and it's done. It feels good to get a page done so fast. Oh, one other thing I did is I went through and stitched over the edge there, so you can see the stitching on the right-hand edge. And there it is. It's finished. So thanks so much. Make sure you check out the project sheet this month if you're a Kit subscriber, and I hope you enjoy. See you next time.